What are you willing to give up personally for something or somebody else? It's quite a serious question. Let's explore this a little further. Welcome to another episode of A Few Minutes with Marvin. I inspire those who aspire to make positive changes in their lives. And if you can tell by my energy, and I'm not trying to project anything other than positive, peace, and light, something challenged me today, and I know that there are many other of us who are being challenged by these energies. And try as you can, or try as you may, these energies don't want to go away, and they're very persistent. If you are feeling this, if you're doing the work, if you're letting those energies be there and say, okay, I experience you, I learned the lessons, right, I release you, and they're not budging, there's a lot more here at work than we believe. And you know me, I don't give any of my energy, right? I do not consent to any lower vibrational energies just taking my energy vampires, situations, circumstances. I do not consent. But even standing in my sovereignty and in my strength, like I ask you to do all the time, today challenged me. Today really challenged me mentally, emotionally, physically, and creatively. And I don't need to go into the details of it, but today it was a tough day, and I really only speak my authentic truth on this channel, right? Because our spiritual awakening path can be fun, and in my last few videos I showed you that, right? But there's also a different side that's coming at us hard and fast, and I've done a couple videos on this, on the energies. And why this is so important now is because these energies don't want to die. They don't want us to take away our energy as the batteries that we've been for them. You understand what that means? The Matrix movie, good example. What were the humans there, right? They were living in the Matrix, but outside of the Matrix, their bodies were energizer batteries for this construct, right? That's very similar to what's going on here. I mean, you don't have to believe that, and you know, I'm sure that that's a lot of Hollywood in there, but there's some truth in that. Our energy is very valuable, and the more we awaken to that knowledge, which a lot of us are, and start taking back our full power, the other forces that have controlled us all our lives, and our parents' lives and their parents' lives, they're like, oh boy, if we don't stop this now, we're not going to have any more energy. They're going to take our life away, our life force. And it's not about, you know, taking anything else away from anybody else. It's about standing in your peace. So when I asked earlier, what are you willing to give up for your peace, my answer is nothing anymore. I won't give up anything. If something is trying to take me out of my peace, stop doing that thing. And I don't want this to be one of those videos where it's, you know, hard and fast, you should do this. You shouldn't, right? You should do what resonates with you. But I'm sharing what happened to me and what resonates with me, so that you know that you are allowed to do that. You are that powerful. These these other energies make you feel like, you know, you can't, right? But you can't let anything stop you now. My specific example was, you know, I'm working at a cafe, and there was a challenging situation today, and it was just all piling up on top of each other, on top of each other, on top of each other. And I stayed in my peace, right, knowing that these were lessons, and I'm just like, okay, I accept this experience. I'm gonna, you know, let it go through me. And I was very intentional in that, but it kept building. And I happened to be training a new person, and they were using the new person to, you know, under the guise that I had to train this person properly, but they were hindering me at times rather than helping, especially with the questions they were asking. They were at a point where I was already allowing stress in. They were just even more weight. I was having more weight and more weight, to the point where I was like, I gotta stop this somehow. So I really just took as many deep breaths as I could. And normally I wouldn't say anything to anybody, right? But I had to text my manager and say, look, I'm not okay with this situation. There's nothing that she could have done anyway. But at that point, I had to put a hard boundary and say, this is, if I stay in this energy, it's going to drag me down. And it's going to take a lot for me to get back into my peace. So I confronted the energy. And I literally said, if I can't shift this energy, which is fine, it's not taking control over me though, then I'm leaving. I would have left in the middle of my shift. So what are you willing to do to stay in your peace? That's the point of this video. I'm willing to leave that location. And why is that important? Because in the back of your mind, you're going, well, wait a minute, you can't just quit in the middle of your shift. You're going to leave them high and dry. That's what these energies want you to feel. Feel like if you leave, it hurts everybody else. So put your own self-worth aside and just muster through it, and you know, you can't close the business. It's going to affect the business. Or it's going to affect the relationship, right? If it's another person, if it's your significant other, that's, you feel like, oh, if I don't do what they want, or, you know, then they're going to leave me. Well, I'm not saying to leave your partners or anything like that, but these energies are finding new ways to get us, right, to bring us back, so that they can plug us back into the matrix, into being their batteries. I won't allow that anymore. I do not consent. And the point of this video is, neither should you. So what can you do? In my case, I stood up and said, if this doesn't change, I am leaving. I will just walk away, right? And when you do that, those energies don't have you anymore. If I had said, oh, I gotta suck it up, otherwise, you know, the business is gonna suffer, I can get in trouble, there's no trouble. For me, it became a very hard choice, not an easy choice. If staying there was gonna keep dragging me down into low negative vibrations that I was having a hard time getting over, and everything was coming at me from different directions, my choice is to get out of it. No matter what, there's no consequence for me. No matter what happened after that, my choice would have been very clear to get out of the situation. If it meant me losing my job, if it meant me getting in, you know, quote unquote trouble, I had to make that decision. And as soon as I confronted that energy, it started shifting, because it knew it didn't have me. And who is this energy, you say? Well, the energy was presenting itself as an issue in the cafe that I was at. It was presenting itself in this new person who who's eager to learn. It presented it as my manager, not wanting the store to close down. I didn't allow those things to influence my decision in that moment. I did not leave, but I stood firm in my conviction that I would. And I would have. If the energies didn't shift, if I wasn't able to finally to breathe through it, and I walked away from the situation for a little bit, and then I came back. And immediately, once I stood my ground and in my convictions that nothing was going to take away my peace. Nothing. I do not allow it. I do not consent to it. The rest of the afternoon went very well and smoothly. Still challenging, but I was able to it won't take me out of my peace. And all the other things started not dogpiling on me. So, it's very important. If you're feeling this way too, and again, it could be at work, it could be in a relationship, it could be with a friendship, it could be with an in-law, it could be any situation where you're like, oh my God, I have to get out of here, but if I do, this will happen, and then I'll be in trouble. You have to make that decision in that moment. Say, no, I don't care what the consequence, the effect of my cause. I have to take care of me. I have to get myself back in my peace. I got to get myself out of this situation to do it. Whether it be temporary, whether it be forever. In that moment, you have to make that conviction with faith, confidence, and say, no, I don't care what happens if I leave. I am going to leave if this situation does not change for my highest good. Are you ready to do that? I am. And again, it may seem like my energy's mad or whatever, and it's not. This is a difference. My previous video, when you have to set an energetic boundary, it's not with anger, it's with conviction. Determined. Confidence. I'm an eternal spiritual soul, and I will not allow anything to take me out of my peace. Nothing. Even if my decision to stay in my peace and get myself out of the situation brings an experience for somebody else. That's going to be their experience to deal with. And it's not selfish. It's not not being of service, right? He's like, well, if you're not being of service to the people that you work for, if you leave and walk out like that. I am, because it'll first, I'm being of service to me, and it may be of service to them, showing them that they have to make some new decisions, right, about how their operation works, right? And that's not my experience anymore, and it will never be my experience. In my past, oh yeah, I was a guy that if nobody else, if I worked a 20-hour shift and the next shift didn't come in for their shift, I'd work another 8 to 10 hours because I felt, oh, how can I leave them? Well, I don't think that way anymore. I won't work 20 hours a day for myself or anybody else anymore. It's not worth it. It's not worth my peace. And what do I mean by peace? My mind, my body, and my soul, right? I only choose to align myself with positive energy, right? Seeing lower energies, sending them love and healing, but not at the cost of my own. Is this clear? Those of us who have been called to these front lines, these are the choices that we have to make now, right? And it's not against anybody. It's just staying the way that we become lighter, the crystalline energy, the Christ energy, is to stand in our sovereignty. Help others, but not at the cost of our own. So I hope this message is crystal clear. It is to me. I'm grounding now in my favorite place, and I asked all the beings around here to hold love and light for me, to help me transmute anything else that's trying to pull me down, because I do not consent. But I know that Mother Gaia, my angels and archangels and spirit guides and guardian angels and these beautiful souls all around here can help me. So I asked for help. You can ask for help too. There's other people that can help you as well if you are in need. It will get easier, but we have to stand our tests. Not pass the test, stand in our sovereignty. And once we do, every time, we will never be plugged into the matrix and be the batteries for any other beings, souls, or energies. We will be the light. We will choose where we project the light on, who we give that light to willingly, but always having a boundary that it's our light and nothing can take it. Don't allow anything, not a job, not a person, not a situation, not a tragedy, not an illness, take your light. Be strong, be courageous, be brave, be confident, be bold. Stand in your truth and in your conviction, and just walk the straight line. Get help from those higher vibrational beings that are there to help you. And they will, and you will get through this, just like I am. And I will continue to ask for the help as I need it, but I will set energetic boundaries hard. If it means leaving a job, it means leaving a job. I will have no regrets, no remorse, no guilt, because at the end of the day, it's for my highest good. So do what's best for your highest good. Stay in high vibes, always, as often as you can. And when you have trouble, seek the help from those that can help you lift you back up. Stay in your sovereignty, stay in peace, and have a blessed, high vibrational, and amazing day.